All right, the lighting situation isn't fantastic today. Got some natural window light happening. Let me just show you. That light there on top of my camera, and then the window light, laptop. Right, so this is the first roll of film. It's technically second roll of film I shot as an adult. The first roll of film I didn't even get around to developing because I have a feeling they didn't come out too great. Maybe one day I'll develop them, but first roll of film, did this a few months ago. Kodak ColorPlus ISO 200. And the reason that I'm making this video is because I told you I would, and it's in my Lightroom catalog, and I'm ready to move on from it. I want to take it out of my Lightroom catalog and move it into the archives. Please excuse the sound of the airplane if you can hear it. I will not be going through all of the photos. I did that in my vlog about my first roll of film, so if you're interested, I'll put that at the end of this video. That's the vlog, Sunny 16 vlog, in which I feel like I failed greatly because I underexposed most of my images. So here we are in the grid view, but let's go to the single view, and we're gonna start off with these photos from this really cool little place called the Thirsty Scarecrow. I drove past it and turned around because I thought that it would be a great scene for some film photography. Now, there are certain types of photos that can look quite cool and you're drawn to when you've got a film camera, but I've tried to get away from that mentality. I feel that if whatever photos you want to make, whether it's film or digital, do whatever you want. But this one was quite fitting, and I think in particular what it was the clear blue skies, as well as all these all these colors happening, and then corn and scarecrows and massive strawberries that I don't even know if I got this in focus or not. With most of these photos, all I do is I mess with the tone curve for contrast, and as you can see over here, I put up the vibrance and saturation. Let's see what this would look like without either. I actually might prefer it without the bump of vibrance and saturation, so I might redo those before I finalize this whole thing. But from all of these ones, my favorite one is not the duck or goose or whatever that is. It is this one over here. It kind of reminds me of a horror movie, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think it's the muddy shadows and the fact that the highlights are in no way close to being blown out. I like it. I try to bring it more to my style, minus the shadowy bit. In my style, photography has a deeper shadow, but I thought what were to happen if I were to raise the highlights a bit, and I don't quite like it as much as this nice mudded out version, so it's quite fitting. And that's all I have to say about those ones. These are some photos of, it's our first home, it's in Cape Town. It's one of those that required some work. I do wish I'd made more photos of the house, but here are some. This wall was originally going to go down, but after having lived there for a while, realized that the flowers I have fallen in love with, so the wall is staying. And my favorite shot from the entire film roll is this one here of this froggy that came with the house. This is sunrise, this is early summer morning, and as you can see, all I've done here is just adjust the curve. If you're wondering what these gaps here are, if I hit R to show you, that is how much I've cropped in, because this is my first roll of film, as I've mentioned a million times now, but the scanning wasn't great. I basically just took photos of the negatives, and my minimal focus distance with the camera I was using at the time, or the lens I was using at the time, wasn't great. So it's a very wide field of view that I've had to crop into for these. I've updated my method of scanning. I hope you don't feel that this video is too rushed, but there really isn't too much to show you. My swimming pool, which is, it was various shades of green. I call it my swamp, but by the time we get back to Cape Town, I'm certain that it will be blue. I have some lovely digital photos of the swimming pool that I have shared a couple, but I'll share more down the line. And this one over here, as you can see, there's a lot of blue in this one, but that is because I messed with the temperature quite drastically, 2,600 and almost 50, 2,650 almost, whereas all the other ones are 2,550. So I just enjoyed the color contrast that I could get with this editing. In general, with my film photos, I haven't been doing much editing beyond adding some vibrance and saturation after adjusting the tone curve for contrast. And I think I'll stick to that for now, because digital photography is what I can use for the more intense editing and the more artistic type of edits, whereas for film photography, I'm enjoying the process of just being more focused about what's happening in the camera, hitting the shutter, thinking twice before just going for it, and I'm enjoying that. And the rest of the photos are not great. They are there. But if you want to see them all, feel free to check out the vlog. I'll put it at this end of this video, and there will be more interesting videos and photos and stuff to come. If you're more interested in seeing more up-to-date stuff, to stay up to date for stuff like why have I labeled this roll of film like this, feel free to check out my Instagram account. I do post on there more regularly because it is easier. But feel free to subscribe and see other videos if you like this type of stuff. It's not only film, it's predominantly digital photography and a bunch of video as well, predominantly photography. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you come back, and yes, I'll catch you in the next video.